What is up, YouTube? It's Nisi here. I'm about to update my Tryndamere guide for you. You guys have been spamming the shit out of me saying update that shit. I'm more than happy to do it. It's just that the videos take 6 to 8 hours to make, and I've been trying to find a format that makes sense. And I think I found one. I know that some YouTubers out there are probably like, man, this is like a reaction video of your own content, man. I know, but this is the only way that I can keep up with the patches and keep you guys up to date with the game as it changes, and make sure you don't fall into any pitfalls of using an outdated guide. If you guys like this, obviously like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and then I'll do more of these for Gangplank, for Jace, inevitably for Wukong, and all the other champions that I do 100 games to Diamond with. So I'll be able to make content for you guys at a pace that makes sense, and keep you guys current. Okay, so let's start with, I believe I started with runes, right? Runes, yeah, there it is. I have my client open, so I'm gonna bring that over. Basically, runes stay the same as were outlined in the guide. Attack speed, quints, AD reds, armor yellows, MR blues, all that shit stays the same. And you can do some modifications to it. I mean, you can go full attack speed, quints, and reds. You can also do scaling armor, scaling magic resist. It's really dependent on how you want to play the lane. Traditionally speaking, scaling means you're going to have to play early game a little bit more passive, and vice versa. So those are just things to take in mind. What do we have next here? We have masteries. So we have the new masteries. I'm going to take a second to bring up Season 6 masteries. Actually, wait, I have the client open. There we go. Yeah, I can use this. I'm a dumbass. Alright, so we have Season 6 masteries. Obviously, these old masteries don't work anymore. We got Season 6 masteries now, dog. Bam. There it is. I'm going to return these points. With Tryndamere, for me personally, this is my setup that I'm using for Tryndamere now. 18-0-12. What this is going to do is going to give you Warlord's Bloodlust, Keystone Mastery. I think it's essential on Tryndamere. You can do Fervor, but I think Warlords is better. It's a little bit more aggressive in terms of once you crit a champion, you can all-in him a little bit more reliably, I think, than Fervor does. I just think it's better. Plus lifesteal. It's just great. It's just great on Tryndamere. Down this side, the tree... The resolve, what this does is, obviously it gives you lifesteal, it gives you a little bit more resistances, but the key reason that I go 12 in resolve is because I want the cooldown of summoner spells reduced. I'm running flash teleport, sometimes flash ignite in lanes that I think I can kill as Tryndamere, and to me, being able to have those summoners on a lower cooldown on flash with distortion boots, I think this is pretty meta right now, to be honest. I did the same thing with Jace this season. I think with distortion boots, having the low cooldowns and the summoner spells is really, really nice, especially late game. And with Tryndamere, you should be out farming most everyone, so you should have a little bit more gold running off to spend on shit like this. So I think overall 18-0-12 makes the most sense. And yeah, so obviously we don't need to run down of Tryndamere's skills anymore. We don't need to run down of his rules. I mean, objectives are still greater than kills, and what else did I say? If no free deaths, that's still true. And yeah, that's all, that's pretty standard, to be honest. Focus on objectives, split pushing objectives down, and don't just fucking die and blame your team and be like, well, my team isn't doing this. It's your job to draw pressure and not die. You shouldn't die, really, ever, as Tryndamere, especially once you get ahead. You shouldn't be dying. It's about pushing and staying alive. Similar to what Trick 2G does on, like, Udyr, for example. Same concept. All right, so this is the part of the 100 Games to Diamond guide that's fucked people a lot now with the changes. Starting camps and then going for early game all-ins. This is kind of dated, and what I'm going to tell you is you have some options. You can see where I'm standing here in the guide. Basically, if you're on blue side, you can take a small golem, like, so you have the blue buff and you have the 2 smalls. You can take some smalls and go into the lane and try to spike level 2 and all in. And you should be able to take the smalls and then get up into the lane and have a good level 2 all in at like the 4th or 5th minion or whatever it is, which is kind of deceptive. Or you can just start in lane as normal and play the game out and kind of just farm up. And you'll have your teleport for scaling, and as long as you're hitting farm and getting items, you should be pretty beast. But you just won't have that crazy all in that we had in the guide. The other thing that we can do is take ignite. and make our all-in really strong. But just remember that if you do that, if you decide to take Ignite or whatever, your all-in is going to be, you know, if you fail the all-in, you're going to be behind, and that sucks, which is kind of why I always like teleport on Tryndamere, is because you could still all-in people. And then if you fuck up, you just teleport, you farm back up, and then you just split push all game. And then you're not totally useless. But if you fail an all-in with Ignite, you might just get raped for the next 20 minutes. So pros and cons. Also, if you're on red side, you can start the chickens. You can take the small chickens and then go into lane. You normally won't miss too much farm. You can do the same thing at red. You can take a small or two at red side, and then try to all in. You can also steal the other team's camps depending on, you know, if they're paying attention or not before minions spawn. So don't just start a camp, teleport into lane anymore. That shit doesn't work. If you're not just taxing a couple minions in a camp and then going into lane, then it's better off just sitting there. Don't burn your teleport or waste it. Just farm up, push the lanes, get the CS, you know, obviously punish the guy if he gets out of line, but we don't have that type of all-in unless we take small camps around the map. Next up, item build. Items with Tryndamere. Doran's Blade of Pot, still pretty standard in my experience. But yeah, Doran's Blade of Pot's fine. Let's look down at the core items. Okay, so this is where things get a little different now. Core items were, for me, was Static Shiv, Merc Treads, and Blade of the Rune King. I pretty much stay this course, except now Boots of Swiftness. I'm going to get that icon up for you guys, for the people that don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I know it sounds obvious, but Boots of Swiftness are pretty meta right now. This is for patch 6.3. I know in a couple days we're going to have Merc Treads be buffed a little bit, but Boots of Swiftness are pretty popular right now. They're pretty meta on a lot of top laners. This is, you know, they have slow resist in there, and it allows you to be just super mobile. And generally speaking, with that mobility plus Blade of the Rune King plus Static Shiv, you're able to do what I was doing in this guide when I created it, when I climbed it to Diamond. You'll be able to push the lanes and then run away. Push the lanes and then run away. Or alternatively, if you can dive them and get out, you do that. So essentially it's the same thing, just Boots of Swiftness. Now, that said, once Merc Treads are buffed here in the coming patches, Merc Treads might be a little bit better. And then obviously, in my opinion, I think you should go Distortion, especially if you're running Flash Teleport, because you're going to have lower cooldowns on those. More all-ins, more escapes, more teleports. That's how you get the crazy, you know, 320 farm at 30 minutes and shit like that I get on Tryndamere. Late game poop dump. What the hell did I say the items were here? All right. So these were the items that I suggested in the build. And obviously, as I do this format over and over again, I'll get better at displaying new builds. But basically, pretty much the same. You have some options here that you can do. Obviously, I said Swifties and Distortion's pretty good. You don't need Home Guard boots anymore. That shit's outdated. Home Guards it's free Home Guards at every 20 minutes in every game, so you don't have to worry about that shit. Basically, this is pretty good build. The only differences that I've seen other players run and I thought might be okay is you can go Ginzus as well on Tryndamere. It's a pretty strong item for attack speed based champs, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get the stacking going on Ginzu's Rageblade. For those who don't know the item, we'll go ahead and bring that shit up just in case you're a newbie. Ginzu's Rageblade. You can bring this item into the mix here. Obviously, for me, I don't really think it's necessary, but some people are experimenting with it. Some people say that they like it. I think that you can go the standard Tryndamere build path and be happy. The times that I would use Ginzu's, though, most definitely, it would be when you have a heavy armor team, when you're facing a heavy armor stacking team, like a Malphite top, shit like that, because you can essentially do what I was doing before, where I would just grab, like, you know, fucking Hydra and just cut the wave and do all that fancy shit. You pretty much do the same thing with Ginzus, and then you'll have a little bit more damage on those armor stacking tanks. You might be able to actually get some kills versus them, so it's an option. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Diving with teleport, I talked about. You know, I still think that you can dive as Tryndamere, especially with the new Keystone Mastery. You can still dive champions, and really the concept of Tryndamere stays the same. You're going into lane with the intent to out-farm your opponent, take the all-ins. If you want to try for a cheesy all-in, take a couple small camps now. You don't just take a full camp and come in level 2. Just take a couple small camps and then go for the level 2 all-in as opposed to a level 3 all-in. Push lanes, stay alive, and yeah, I mean, all this stuff is pretty much standard on Tryndamere. Just don't be a noob. Don't die like a dumbass and then be like, my team isn't taking objectives. Your goal as Tryndamere is to push waves and stay alive. Obviously, if you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe and all that shit. I plan to do Gangplank updates or what have you. You can see Tryndamere gameplay all through my channel, and you could see it on my stream occasionally as well. But yeah, if you like this format, guys, if you want to see it for other champs, make sure to like it, comment, tell me what I can do better, what I can improve on. And I will do this for coming patches for champions to keep you up to date on the builds and the items and everything. But yeah, I hope this helps you, and I hope I'm not wasting my breath making this video. All right, thank you very much, and I'm out. Peace, crackers.